Hello, so today we're going to talk about negative exponent rule, and that is when you have a negative exponent. This is a to the negative n, a being the number or the variable, and negative n being the exponent. You have to flip it and put it on the bottom for it to be positive. So you do 1 over a to the n. So if it's 1 over a to the negative n, then you flip it back and you make it positive. So what does that mean? An a isn't equal to 0. So this one is x to the negative 5 power, fifth power, right? So you have to flip it, do the reciprocal. This kind of would be this, and then flip it. Reciprocal. And then this would be the answer to that. And then if it was 1 to the x to the negative fifth power, then you would flip it again. And I always say flip it instead of doing the reciprocal. Seems to understand it a little better. You're reversing it. And then it would be x to the fifth power. So let's look at a couple of them. So simplify each expression. And we've discussed power to power rule, right? And this is 2x to the third power to the fourth power times x divided by x to the seventh. And this would be 2 to the fourth power, and then 3 times 4 is x to the 12th. And then we just have the x, and then x to the seventh. And then we would do 2 to the fourth power is 16, and then 12 plus 1 is 13. And then x to the seventh. Well, again, no number in front of a variable is always a 1. So I kind of put my imaginary 1 so I know. And then now I'm going to figure it out. So it would be 16. And then x to the 13th divided by x to the 7th. That's that quotient rule. And you subtract those exponents. And 13 minus 7 is 6. So it would be 16x to the 6th power. And that would be your final answer. Now over here, I gave you a negative 3 exponent. And you would kind of work that out, right? Power to power rule. 3 to the negative third power. A squared to the negative third power. B to the negative third power, right? But I'm going to work the a squared to the negative third power first. So I would do 3 to the negative third. And then this would be a to the negative 6. And then this is b to the negative third. Now remember, you have to flip them. You have to flip them to make them positive. So technically, now I'm going to write whatever's on top on the bottom and make it a positive exponent. And then a to the 6th. And then this would be on top to make that a positive, and that would be b to the third. And the only thing I'd have to work out is what 3 to the third power is, and that's 3 times 3 times 3, and 9 times 3 is 27. A to the 6th with b to the third. And that would be your final answer for that one. So let's look at the next one. I think I have on here, your turn. This is where you could write these problems down in your notes, right? Stop the recording, and then go back and see if you got them right. In the meantime, we're going to work them out. So I can do step by step with you, however you wish to do it. But I would pause it and then write them and then see if you can figure them out and then come back to this. So we have y negative 3 to the negative 6. A negative times a negative is a positive, so that would be y to the 18th, because 3 times 6 is 18. And z, 6 to the negative 6th power would be negative 36. And my negative exponent rule is to make sure that they end up positive, and then we have to do the reciprocal of them. Well, y is already positive, so that stays. But then z to the 36 would be on the bottom. And that would be your final answer there. So hopefully you got that correct. You stopped it and you worked them out yourself, right? Here, I would do x to the negative 7th. I would work this out with the exponents. That would be x to the 12th, right? But I notice that this is x to the 7th, but I know when I divide, I can do x negative 7 minus 12. I would get x to the negative 19th and then I have to do the reciprocal to turn that negative 19 into a positive 19, and that would be the final answer for that one. And then this one here, this negative 2 affects each of these terms in here. So it would be 5 to the negative 2, and it would be y, and then 3 times negative 2 is going to be negative 6. And then I would know that they're both negative, so they're going to end up on the bottom. And 5 squared is 25. And then y to the negative 6 would just be y to the positive 6, but I have to put that 1 up there because I flipped them, okay? 5 squared would be 5 squared, like that. That's where I get that 25 from, okay? All right, so I think as we move on, yes, so we're going to stop there, and then that would be your lesson for the negative exponent rules. Thank you.